That must be Matriarch's Mercy. Sure think a lot of their royal family, don't they? Damn, what was that? There ain't been active fighting here in I don't even know how long. We got bases down there. If one of them got hit, then that strike will be the first of many.
The fan can wait. Our lines will not. Good subjects arrive 15 minutes early to avoid missing their tram. Your patience is commendable, passenger. Please continue waiting quietly until the next tram arrives.
This station must have really been something before the war made its home here. If things escalate, it might never be something again.
Report any suspicious activity to your nearest station warden.
Yeah.
Passenger, you are running 21,027.5 hours late for your tram. Please be mindful of your departure in the future.
Looks like folks holed up here after the fighting started. Guess not everybody was eager to take sides.
We got an appointment to keep. Matriarch's mercy. Let's just hope we don't get shelled too.
Tomorrow's lecture on effective daily planning will be preempted by a 6-hour course in remedial differential geometry. Adjust your schedule accordingly.
Please, somebody help us! Anybody, please! Finally, some help. We desperately need aid. Desperately. My family and I, we was making our way to the mercy camp for us refugees. We were set upon. My wife, my son were injured. Can't move them by myself. I had to leave them just past this tunnel so as I could go for help. But being alone is even more riskier. The Varachnids, I chased them off, but they'll be back. Please help us. Ain't nothing I can do for them, but you got weapon and medicines and can get us to the camp. Please. I don't... Vary, by my guess. She was bit on the thigh, high, like... can see bone. Or maybe white means infected? She's screaming all the time when she's awake. Then she goes to sleep. She in agony. And my son ain't waked since the attack. Hurry, please. We must hurry or they'll be eaten. Or worse. No, you're not carings. We'll kill them. You've changed your mind. Thank the Void. They gonna die without help. Thank you. Thank you. This way. This way. Get him, boys!
Refugees, looks like. And after that strike, there'll only be more at the gates.
Another refugee? Just a moment. Allowing anyone into Matriarch's Mercy unprocessed will upset the precarious ratio of refugees to aid. We should have an opportunity for placement in approximately 7.85 days, presuming no unforeseen alterations. I seem to recollect one matching your description set for arrival. Pardon my slowing your ingress. It has been rather hectic of late. Welcome to Matriarch's Mercy. Rule number 1, no crowding. Rule number 2, avoid the exclusion zone. Our seer has predicted non-specific imminent danger. I thought the name was self-explanatory. Our seer predicted that a corner of the encampment is in terrible danger. Danger from what? Or when? Unclear. Stay away from it, and, in all probability, you won't have to find out. Safety and probability are incompatible. Eventually, nowhere will be safe, including here. Our predictions spring from the universal equation, the very numbers that guide the stars. Only a fool ignores probability, and we don't suffer fools around these parts. Not at present, but according to our predictions, the creation of a third rule is likely, if not inevitable. That's enough questions. Keep the line moving. You need anything, talk to Seer Wiley. He's in the lift building, straight through the settlement.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish. Between the invaders, the order defecting.
Thus, if we compare the... And then we solve for the... apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need something? Typically, no. And it has been somewhat challenging focusing my concentration. The abbot felt a scientician operating in a conspicuous spot in the thoroughfare might be useful. An illustrative way for our guests to see how we operate, to show how the crabble patties are made, as it were. That is, if the meat preparation involved a 90-step rate formula and a conflux of polynomial equations. I am also on hand to answer queries by providing data supporting our actions. Though perhaps due to my central location, 89.74% of the time, I am simply asked for directions. I am sure they bear any inconveniences with grace and dignity. I mean, the statistical jump correlated to residents within Matriarch's Mercy has some pretty compelling numbers. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors: longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. Numbers are really against you out there. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get.
Reminds me of Tau Ceti right after the merger. Had to wait for my number to be called just to get rations and a cot.
Since the schism.
Hope these folks...
Apologies, outsider. As a vicar, I am usually tasked with guiding non-order lay people, such as yourself. Lately, the abbot has tasked me with the education of the refugees in our care. You are, of course, free to stay to be enlightened by my lecture, but I don't need an abacus to predict your path lies elsewhere. Well, if it's in the displaced's best interests, I imagine I can find a moment. Yes, I reckon I do have my ear to the grimy dirt floor of Matriarch's Mercy. I hear what common lay people are saying, and the wide array of bodily noises they make. Suppose I, more than any other member of the Order here, connect with non-scienticians. I've begun daily lectures, including practical advice on efficiently planning their days. I frequently launch into extended orations on everyone's favorite topic, math, and meticulously expatiate on our sex origins in the most rigorously pedantic detail. Oh, dear. I got ahead of myself, didn't I? That's an occupational hazard around here. As I'm sure you've read in recent dissertations doing the rounds, education has proven to have a 13.7% increase in overall quality of life. I am single-handedly making a difference here, with constructive pointers on efficient scheduling, lessons on order history, plus some mathematics for a little added razzle-dazzle. Never as many as I would like, perhaps, but my little congregation grows by the hour. Eventually, my unsophisticated layperson friend, the knowledge just seeps right in. Give it a few years and they'll even be asking questions.
By the law, it's you. Oh, thank the architect you're finally here. I've scarcely breathed while hoping you'd come. I am in desperate need of your help. True, but the Order's predictions know you better than you know yourself. Recently, I had a rare opportunity to ask the Seer for guidance. He told me that a dashing outsider would answer my prayers. I feared the prediction was a fluke, but here you are, a dashing outsider standing before me. Strictly speaking, it isn't. Not yet. But the math is very, very, very good at predicting what is probably most likely extremely possible. In theory. Within a margin of error. Anyway, that is the Seer's business. My business is the health and welfare of this camp. Where to begin? There are so many sick and wounded in Matriarch's Mercy, and I have but two imperfect hands. I am but a humble general practitioner. What I really need are specialists, and the Seer predicted an outsider would find them. My thanks, stranger. Probability is on our side. The Seer gave me a datapad with explicit instructions that I not read it, for my intervention could only throw probability into disarray. Now, take the datapad, with my thanks. How can I be of service?
You're right. The universe does not orient itself toward fairness. But it's my firm belief humanity can do better. Ah, you must be the, Earth Directorate agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. Allow me to welcome you to Golden Ridge. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability? Sensible. Straight to business, then. The presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, pursuant to our normal standards of compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge? DeVries. Now, why does that name ring familiar? Landon, do you recall a DeVries?
I don't generally concern myself with passers-through. If this DeVries was not a member of the Order, then it's unlikely we ever exchanged mats. Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse. And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the N-Ray range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution. Besides the highly caustic Zeranium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay. Rift worshippers spouting inane theories. They began showing up prior to the invasion. The first sign of dysfunction in the Protectorate always starts small, doesn't it? Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a conspiracy within the Order, whether Victor is involved or not. As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation. No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Anti's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Choosing levity at a moment like this is only further evidence of your lack of good judgment.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend. But the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. It's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence. But if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. Most assuredly not. It would eliminate the entire point of the ceasefire. Please convey that fact to whomever you speak with. I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth wouldn't have sent you otherwise. Here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings.
Have you beheld that new rifle up at the monastery, the Oracle?
The one Wiley designed, right? Uses a tracking algorithm, never misses. Sounds ambitious. And I'd give my tenure for an hour.
Where to first, Commander? Henry Range, Serenium Manufactory, or Outpost Opportunity?
Hope you appreciated how I bit my tongue back there with the abbot. Didn't want things to come to blows with civilians in the crossfire. Full of excuses for the attack, wasn't he? Could be that he's sincere. Or could be that he has his hands so full with keeping his community from falling apart that he missed a memo or two. Either way, I'm willing to stay my hand until we know the truth. If it were my folk buried under the rubble, I'd want to know for certain before acting. Besides, ain't nobody around here better suited for investigating than we are. He don't strike me as a liar. Incompetent, though? I'll say this. If he's got insubordination brewing, he's well and truly screwed. While we're at it playing detective, we need to scope out opportunity. If there are any survivors, we ought to help, however we're able. I can only hope they had warning enough to run for cover. If they didn't, well, there's only so much basic training can prepare you for. Once endured a week-long bombardment in a foxhole with only enough rations to last 3 days. Screams went on twice that long. Some of us still ain't fully recovered. We should move on, unless you got something for me?
What is it? I have 15 seconds of allotted time for non-specific discourse, so choose your words with expediency. Oh, new arrivals. Of an independent operative nature, one presumes. Did the abbot assign you to help? Yes. Unfortunately, you are the first to notice. Infrastructure requests from the displaced exceed present resource capacity. The mounting accumulation of prevailing desideratum is regrettably beyond us. Or beyond me, more to the point. I am simply one person, impossibly stretched thin, and unable to attend to the needs of the displaced. One priority concern stands out. Well, something of a dispute, really. One where my latest near-future prognostics report may provide some guidance. Tell me, what do you know of the exclusion zone? Excuse me, but the intricate dance of the cosmos is anything but shady. You see, the seer predicted that a calamity would befall the exclusion zone, warning that the barrier must not be crossed. But the ever-disruptive voice of the displaced is dead set on occupying the exclusion zone anyway, laughing in the face of certain peril. We don't know, and therein lies the frustration. The seer has augured death for anyone who enters the exclusion zone. Yes, you heard me right. Death. Furthermore, and I quote, "An outside mediator, having earned the confidence of both sides, has a high likelihood of clearing up an ongoing dispute. We can't have the voice of the displaced sowing disorder. Will you help us? Will you be our outside mediator, as was foretold?" The first step is to familiarize yourself with every angle of the dispute. Talk to the people of Matriarch's Mercy. The displaced want the exclusion zone. We want it kept off limits. We can't both be right. Feel free to speak with the voice of the displaced herself if you aren't already acquainted. Any questions before you get started? Novice Seer Vicarage should have ample time to illuminate you on the Order's forecast modeling methods. He's just down the room from here. I can tell you she's a rabble-rouser of the highest order. Still, she cleaves to her principles. That's something. You can find her outside, among her people, stubbornly defying an Order barricade. According to predictions, yes. Or at least, my interpretation of them. I am reasonably certain. More than usual, in fact. Many people around camp support or object to our methods. Speak to them, form your own opinion, and when you are ready, we will decide the fate of the exclusion zone.
$1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provisions and supplies for the displaced. Well, if the Archivist said so, I suppose I can factor out a moment. As the assigned provisioner, I am responsible for coordinating the requisition and distribution of comestibles, medicinals, and miscellaneous vital supplies. The overwhelming majority of my time is dedicated to this, leaving only moments to see to the Order's needs in the settlement. But it is an effort I undertake with great relish. You may not have noticed, but the refugees do not want for food or medicine. If it was a duly appointed Order official acting to assist me in distributing supplies to the displaced, yes. If that someone is you, no. With the great disruption that has occurred to their lives, one can hardly blame them. That they are fed and remain healthy is sufficient for me. The Order of the Ascendant is dedicated to the ascension of humanity. Our ultimate goal may not be reached in our lifetime. If I can help others in need today, I shall do so to the utmost extent of my abilities and resources. Appreciate you respecting my time.
What happened to this place? Law. Matriarch's Mercy is no safer than the trenches.
Look on the bright side. I predict that the worst is behind us.
We're not going anywhere! Not on the basis of some half-baked prediction. This so-called exclusion zone is where we stake our claim. Stand with me in defense of freedom!
Except for the fact that you ain't yelling and trying to eat me. I'd have pegged you as some sort of prosperous scrapper by the rough look you got about you. You do got a certain feral look in your eye, though. Okay. I give up. Tell me. Oh, so that's how it is. You're the mediator that was foretold. Am I right? The Order wants us to believe that a catastrophe is coming to the exclusion zone at any second. Why? Because math told them so. Screw their predictions. We have people, displaced by war and disaster, in sore need of space. There's plenty of room to house them. Am I supposed to fall on my knees and thank the Order because something bad may or may not happen? Sorry. Not convinced. I honestly don't give the slightest whit about the Order's idea of math or whatever calculation tells them that a catastrophe may or may not occur.
What does the Administrant want? To shut me up? To discredit me? I don't know what the Administrant's game is, but call me intrigued. Best thing you can do is introduce yourself around camp. See why we need the exclusion zones open.
Huh. I didn't realize we were negotiating. Now you're speaking my language. You'll get your little bribe once you rule in my favor. Just don't let me down.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation will improve in time.
Stop it with the predictions. You don't even know multivariable calculus.
Just trying to cheer you up.
Broke my nose last scrap. I banged him up real good for you, didn't I? I won you one, right? Matters settled.
The void you did. Barely connected. You're thinking of 2-3 scraps ago. You've been mostly unconscious a while now. You ought to talk to Boss Tilda. She's the brains in this... What does she call it? Oh, yeah. Quasi-illicit shenanigan.
Doesn't like to look at us when we're all banged up. Said my face turned her off Borscht loaf.
Anyhow, head down the hill along the fence. Tell her Mapother and Mudge sent you.
Word to wise? Don't accept anything here that's given for free. You'll pay, one way or another.
You got business? No? Move on. You the fixer-lyncher aide to Agent Galloway? Don't suppose you got that crawling hibiscus she promised to sneak me, huh? Forget it. You can come in. Hello, hello. You're the one that aided us in availing Sub Rosa of a rather large shipment of Spectrum vodka, yes? Agent Galloway is slightly less trustful than most feral canids, so winning her over speaks volumes of your character. Consequently, I'm pleased to present you purchase access to my fine wares. It's fortunate you're no stranger to contraband. It's superb cover and a consistent market. Refugees are in need of all sorts of supplies that the Order cannot provide, and Sub Rosa delivers, at only a reasonable markup. Myself, I enjoy the thrills of the environ. Will the Order attempt to drive me out? Will Matriarch's mercy be shelled? Shall I run out of new cereals? Oh, thrilling! Why, I thank you. Takes a unique sort to appreciate the finer points of illegal smuggling. We stand that we'd like to make a good ton of bits on the war, and maybe expand our reach in the process.
Beyond that, I'm not supposed to comment. But Sub Rosa consists primarily of ex-Anti's Choice and ex-Protectorate personnel. We've still got folks we care about out there. Complicates some of our feelings on the fighting. But if the fighting stops, our income begins to go dry.
Greetings. What can I help you with? Let me guess. One of your co-occupants is always hanging up his or her britches in your corner of the yurt. Am I right? Or you're dealing with more of a stay off my palate or that's my air you're breathing sort of thing. Hmm? Pray elucidate the exact nature of your tiff of contention. Oh, really? Like they strung a few words together in a row and it all made sense? That's a marked improvement on earlier. Guessing they left out a bunch, though. Here in Matriarch's Mercy, if you're not a member of the Order, you're probably living close to somebody else. In some cases, sleeping on top of them. Sort of thing tends to cause friction between neighbors. Would lead to fights, but nobody here wants trouble with the Order. So they hire our hooligans to battle by proxy. Half the time, people shy away at the first sight of blood. The other, that's what they're there for. We say whoever wins the fight wins the argument. But frankly, it's never anything of consequence, like, okay, hurrah! This guy gets back his mangy button. Now, how can I help you exactly? Ugh, a tourist. Well, clear out then, huh? Can't have you scaring off real customers. I got a bunch of yeggs, 2 pugilized pugilists, and a cicanid to feed.
Look, your nose was just a stand-in for Duarte's nose.
Don't feel like no stand-in.
Look, I'm not with Auntie anymore. We all had reasons to leave.
Really? What was yours?
Honestly, I don't think it matters anymore. All that matters is we're alive.
Algorithmic dissonance? Don't like the sound of it. How could something help? Oh, try not to get too close. My sinuses are stuffed up, my ears are backed up, and my guts are gurgling. I could burst at any moment. Every fluid from every orifice. So keep your distance. Don't want it, don't need it. I've gotten sick at least a dozen times since we set up camp. Why, last week alone, I caught hack lung, sprat tongue, skinny teeth, and a rare case of mortified skull emergence. Figured I might as well get used to being sick. So I'm practicing for my next disease. It's gonna be a nasty one. I think it's downright awful what's happened to these fine folks. But me especially. Sickness, malnutrition, spontaneous genetic disorders, it never ends. You too. Trust me, you don't want to catch this. Neither do I, for that matter.
I miss my... How do you do, stranger? Always nice to see a friendly face around Matriarch's Mercy. Though it's a pity I can't lend more aid to our downtrodden collective. I'm just a humble taxidermist. What? And you think that's me? Listen, friend, a little skill with needle and thread does not make me a qualified medical professional.
Look, this place ain't exactly crawling with experts, and Doc needs all the help he can get. Even if all you do is suture wounds, your services will be invaluable.
Have it your way, then. I know when I'm being voluntold. But you better make it worth my while. Before I agree to anything, I need sprat corpses. Several. And no victims of violence, please. My art depends on the quality of the sleeve. The term is industry standard, and a taxidermist without standards is never a pretty sight. I used to source all of my sprats from a local trapper, Frankie Billings. No idea if she's still in business. Word has it she's out north in Auntie's Choice territory, so watch yourself. Fresh being the operative word. My thanks, stranger.
I remember this place before the war. Functioning tramiculars. Peaceful silence in the caves.
I can't recall the last time this region was silent.
Keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Something that would never happen with the Order, where our predictions help guide our people's lives with peak efficiency, from cradle to grave. Join the Order of the Ascendant and experience the beauty and elegance of the well-formulated plan. You'll never forget your first higher-order logarithmic differentiation.
Stranger, the Order bids you welcome, but also warnings. In light of the recent attack on Auntie's Choice, you may want to make haste to Matriarch's Mercy. It's just down the road here.
So it was one of our bases that got hit. Well, I'm gonna be sick.
I can't rightly say, and that is rather concerning in its own right. It seems our temporary ceasefire with the corporatists may be at its end. Yes, this was an active war zone until recently, and now seems like it may be so again. Not quite certain why the attack was launched, but that is not under my purview. I'd surmise that when Auntie's Choice realized they couldn't get through our defensive measures, they wisely chose the path of diplomacy. Seems I was mistaken.
Well, it weren't our artillery that made that strike. I can tell you that much.
They must have done something to provoke an attack, which is why your safest path now is the one that leads to Matriarch's Mercy. The Order controls everything south of this point, but the rest is beset with various dangers. Zealots, scavengers, creatures, and corporatists. Well, not certain about that last one anymore after the attack. Yep, mad to the last one. People will turn to anything to ease their discomfort during times of crisis, I suppose. They're both unstable and violent. Auntie's forces call them scrappers, and uses them for just that, gathering scrap materials. Excessive abuse of stimulants has made them severely unbalanced and prone to violence. They've also been known to pose as refugees, to lure their victims into ambushes. There are several camps of them northwest of here. I'd strongly advise keeping your distance. The creatures are of the genus Varachnid. They are large enough to kill a full-grown human, and exceedingly willing to do so.
May all your endeavors elicit expected results.
Sorry, ain't ready yet.
Brawl!
Go, caution loaded. Let's get the signal.
Perhaps it would be advantageous to... No, that won't function optimally. Or we could... No, but if they deploy Manosaurs, we'd be better served having it the other way around. Do you have a specific matter requiring discussion with me that cannot be postponed? I'm rather preoccupied at the moment. That's not... Yes, your assessment is absolutely accurate. Making a final decision over what to prioritize in the construction of this trench, given my current resources, has been a substantially more difficult task than I first estimated. Correct. In this case, standardized algorithms, which includes a Poisson distribution method, using the data we accrued from years of tracking the frequency of different attacks. Unfortunately, I find myself in the extremely unlikely and stressing position of having these algorithms inform me that every type of attack is exactly equally probable, and thus my dilemma. Many, unfortunately. Anti's human soldiery, raptidons, mantisaurs, scrappers, and even wild arachnids. In summary, many and varied. Alas, I lack the resources and time. I appreciate your input, though. Anti's forces have pushed us from our initial trench line into our fallback trench, thus making it the new primary trench. Despite the fact that we are currently holding back Anti's forces at the new, more narrow front, this leaves us in the unenviable position of requiring a new fallback trench. That being said, we shouldn't need another trench line. Our analysis shows us that Anti simply lacks the resources to push through the current front line. However, there is a vanishingly slim chance that Antis has more resources in transit outside of the Arcadian system that we simply haven't accounted for yet.
I have too much on my mind for idle numerical chit-chat.
I do not believe I've observed you in these trenches before. You are aware this is a war zone, correct? Halt! Access to that area of this trench line has been restricted to authorized personnel only. It isn't safe, given the rift activity.
If you're here to help, then you should be aware that we've all been placed on standby after that last attack.
Move on, Freelancer. I've been tasked with only treating enlisted personnel.
Halt! What is your destination? Everyone is on edge since that last attack. Honestly, the quiet has made reading far more enjoyable and increased the speed of my literary consumption by 14%.
Matriarch carved into a pyramidal peak, the shrine to she who ushered us to the stars.
That is what I call a stubborn clog in the old pipes.
I do not believe you have clearance to be here.
Wait! The odds of your survival are directly inversely proportionate to your distance from this emplacement.
Attention, freelancer, you are currently heading into no man's land. We strongly recommend you return.
Commander, you got a minute to talk? I got some thoughts on this situation with the refugees. The number of folks seeking refuge from the war is, well, it's beyond what I expected. And beyond what the Order is capable of handling, seems like. Antes may not be faring much better here, but we could at least find enough work for these folk to buy some food. I mean, we ain't gonna give up our cots for what could be the enemy. We're doing what we gotta do to keep our heads on our shoulders. It's a tough situation, that's all I'm saying. But if the Order can't even manage tens of folk at their doorstep, they ain't gonna manage much better should they win the war. But nothing's ever really free, is it? I went through this myself when Anti's Choice took over Tau Ceti. It took time to secure the merger, but once they did, we folk got the help we needed real quick. And all they wanted in return was the signing of an employment contract. Now, I ain't seeing any contracts in Matriarch's Mercy, so what is the Order actually gaining by doing this? They'd have to be evil to even think of them as such. And they'd have to be stupid to think that's a line nobody would cross. The Order doesn't strike me as either. Anyhow, if the Order is in fact helping these folk with no hidden aims, then... well, I'll be the first to admit that there might just be merit in what they're selling. Appreciate you hearing me out.
Must have been quite favorable to inspire such confidence.
Friendly approaching from the north. Hold fire.
just come through an active war zone? Your puzzler's screwed on crooked?
How's the scavenging out there? Anything juicy?
That's a lot of casualties. Our medics ain't equipped for this. Not even close.
Did that blast give me a dunder? Or is some damn stranger walking into my area of operation right after we've been attacked?
You all right, officer? We saw the impact and got over here fast as we could. If there's anything we can
do to part you from your bits while you're desperate? Yeah, I know your type. You go private, but then lurk in the shadows like manta wasps looking to prey on easy marks. You got any reason I oughtn't have you shot? Yeah? Well, what exactly makes you so sure of that? Huh. Interesting. Did he say who he thinks did hit us? Not that it matters, I suppose. Not like we can muster a counterattack or anything. But even if I did believe you, so what? Seriously? You expecting me to ring up Auntie and tell her, hello, Maven of all marketing? Just letting you know that this scrutinization officer says everything's hunky-dory. You've clearly been out in the Dorado sun for too long. Ah, an offer for transaction. Now you're talking my language. Didn't reckon you was someone sympathetic to our ways. It just so happens we might be able to trade services. And normally I wouldn't admit this kind of weakness. It's bad practice. But I'm really in the squeeze, and you might be useful. Lately, my luck's been right miserable. I got enemy sneak attacks. I got grunts murdering each other. I got unsanctioned power struggles. And it all risks reflecting badly on me. You cut down the number of issues that are vexing me, and I'll send you word of peace and harmony up the chain. What's good for me is good for you, see? Quid pro quo. Or, if all that sounds like too much work for you, there are other ways to curry my favor. Make me believe your good intentions. Encourage me to take your side. Absolutely. Bits are a bond that buys a broad bevy of believability. Auntie says so herself. They show sincerity, trustworthiness, and a goodly dose of class. That bomb that hit us, it was filled with uranium. So not only did it kill us the good old-fashioned way, it also caused serious poisoning. My contract medicalist over there is literally up to her elbows in it, her hourly rate is ridiculous, and our damn auto docs have gone on the fritz from the workload. You get her the compression coil she needs to make the auto docs work, and that should cut her billable hours in half, and then I'll send your message. There's been a murder at one of our forts. Trooper's accused of poisoning her senior officer for some preposterous reason. Problem is, I'm already short on medical specialists. The last thing I can do is waste one for days just to find out if she did or didn't toxify him. Go find out who done it, and I'll send the message you're asking for. This is gonna make no more sense for me saying it than it's gonna make for you hearing it, but apparently, the senior officer at one of my forts is a mantisaur. A real, actual, pincer-faced, carapace-having mantisaur. Not a half-human one, or a psychic one, or a talking one, just a regular old, head-munching mantisaur. Anyways, there's some dispute over who his second should be, and he can't exactly decide himself. So go sort it out for me, and I will gladly send your message. Now, you know that's an irrevocable deal, right? As in, please remember it's legally binding, and I will sue you if you fail to get it done. So don't let either of us down.
People are dying, and all he cares about is what he can get out of it. Wish I could say I was surprised.
What in the scrupulous name of profitable deductibles do you think you're doing? Just who are you, and why are you walking through my triage? Help, huh? Well, that would be greatly appreciated. We need compression coils. The attack left more wounded than I have supplies for, plus a hefty amount of uranium poisoning. And the coils on our auto docks have worn out. Without them, they can't convert raw materials into the medicaments needed to help the soldiers heal. As many as you can. There's so much more work than I can handle. It's only by getting these 3 defunct auto docks back online that I can hope to save most of these folk. Auntie dropped extra compression coils in pods from orbit to help our advance, but they landed everywhere. Though I heard some are in the no man's land between the battle lines. Many thanks, but please hurry. These folk ain't got much time.
I've been laid up same as those troopers, and I don't wish that kind of suffering on anyone, antis or no. Let's look for those coils.
Even just a mention of Auntie seems to get your blood boiling, Ibarra. Don't tell me you judge folk before you get to know them.
I'm sorry, what's there to know? I mean, apart from her bottomless greed and bad hairdo.
Hey now, she's much more than you think. She's a visionary. Did you know that the formulation for rehydrated water came to her in a dream?
You definitely just made that up.
Did not. It was part of our training to memorize these fun facts. Potential buyers love them.
Do I seem like your target demographic?
No. But I do think you'll enjoy learning about how she has 2 pet teacup canids, named Mammon and Pretty Penny. Pretty Penny has mauled 3 VPs this quarter, at last count.
Law be damned. You're right. I did enjoy that fact.
Overheard what you said earlier, that nobody wants Auntie's choice here. Maybe not right now, but that tune will change once these folks see just what we're offering them. Freedom.
Freedom at the point of a gun don't strike you as a mite forceful.
So liberation is only acceptable on your terms. Is that it?
It's acceptable when we do it because the people ask for our intervention. That's kind of the whole point of the Earth Directorate.
You say that, but we both know that ain't why you or the commander came to Arcadia in the first place. What was the plan? Take what you came for and leave these folk to their fate? No. I think it ain't so much that the Earth Directorate only goes where they've been asked. It's more about what serves their interests. So, who's really the moral party here?
I ain't gonna be lectured by a corporatist. Find someone else to bluster at.
That better not be what I think it is.
Honestly, Bradford, I've no notion of how to cool your conniption. Corporate says I'm in charge, so I'm in charge.
You're in charge? Wait, you're in charge? Don't you mean the executive is in charge?
Of course that's what I meant. Whether I say me, he, or we, it's all the same.
It's all the same pile of gum.
That tone is not how you get approval for your little tests, designer. Next time, you might want to try and tame your woolly curds with a little mock apple. Yes, I hope you're not here to apply for employment. I'm already overwhelmed by the sheer volume of peons I'm forced to oversee. And if you're here as a spy, know that the temporary ceasefire is on tenuous footing. So if you stay, it's likely just a matter of time before I'll be stringing you up. Enemy Scrutinization Officer Durbin. What does he want with me? Ah, well, in that case, your business is with both my commander and me. But I'm being rude. Allow me to introduce Strategic Investment Executive Wojciech, senior-most representative at Fort Endurance. Now you're starting to sound like some of the wagabouts I've got under my command. Why would I be anything but serious? Executive Wojciech has been part of this unit since he was just a pupa. As he grew, he's shown exceptional bravery, stoic stalwartness, and strong leadership. It's earned him promotion after promotion, until our last battle against the Order deprived us of our former chief executive and left him as the senior-most trooper. Okay. The executive welcomes you, but would like to know why Scrutinization Officer Durbin sent you here. My experimental mantisaur graft lets me speak with him as easily as I do with you. He emits pheromones that my antenna can detect. He wouldn't be much of a commander if he couldn't communicate with the troops.
Hey, Commander. It's my professional opinion that we should back away slowly. This guy's craft is either messing with his gray matter, or he's messing with us.
That is exactly what he's doing.
Designer Bradford, you've been warned about disrespecting the chain of command.
And you've been reminded, repeatedly, that I'm not under your chain of command. I'm technically under the Mantisaur, but that's got nothing to do with you. I just wanted to make it clear to our newcomer that you are full of shit. You've always been full of shit, and you will always be full of shit. So you're best ignored entirely.
That is quite enough, designer. Of course not. I'm just a lowly trooper acting as interpreter. Otherwise, surely these folks would have figured it out by now.
We have all figured it out. Unfortunately, I'm the only one willing to say it to your face.
Yes, well, please excuse our curmudgeonly biologist. She's been a pill ever since the promotion that made Wojciech outrank her. Still, that ugly moment behind us, it's a comfort to my mind that you're here. Executive Wojciech has an assignment we're desperate to have done, but it can only go to someone outside our chain of command.
Ugh, not this crabble scat again. There is zero chance you're right. Zero. And this brilliant assignment of yours didn't go so well for the last group.
Just rumors and conjecture. The base gossip is that another team was sent to recover the pupa and never returned. But I'm sure they're just deserters. Wojciech can sense that there are some kind of mutated mantisaurs over yonder, and he wants us to secure one of their pupas to raise as his own.
Oh, stop it. The creature doesn't want a pupa. He doesn't want to breed a superior race of mantisaurs. He wants to eat meat, excrete the excess, and be left alone. That's it. Even if he could ask for a pupa from a rival nest, he'd probably just eat the law-be-damned thing to cut down on competition. He's a bug, nothing more. But the only way to prove it to our command is to have you run this fool's errand. Once it's shown to have been a colossal waste of resources, they'll put me in charge.
That is enough. One more word in question of our executive officer, and I'll have you pitched over the edge with the rest of the enemies we've conquered here.
Yes, sir.
We need you to infiltrate the mutated mantisaur nest, secure a mutated pupa, and bring it to me here. Do that, and I, and Executive Wojciech, shall make sure you are well rewarded for your efforts. Look in the nest to the east. That'll have your best odds. It's where Wojciech feels the pull from the strongest.
Feels a pull, Wentworth? Seriously? What am I saying? That makes the exact amount of scientific sense I'd expect from you. Excuse me? May we speak a second? Apologies for my outburst, but I had need to warn you that an earful from Wentworth is akin to sucking on an inhaler full of ammonia.
Hey, what are you two talking about?
Nothing of your concern, Wentworth! Just ignore him. He was clever enough to pretend that Graft lets him talk with the beast. So overnight, he upstarted from simple trooper to de facto commander of this installation.
You know it's impolite to whisper, right?
But I've studied him extensively, and it is most assuredly nothing but a play for power. I'm not surprised. You seem sharp. So, if you know he's lying, then you understand that catering to his will isn't gonna do anyone any good. Conversely, the scientific value of studying the mutated pupa he wants is exponentially greater than any possible use he could have for it. Bring it to me, and not only will I match any reward he offers, but you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that it will serve a much greater purpose. I'll have to... Oh, fine. Fine. If scientific discovery and the betterment of future products isn't enough for you, I'll pad your coffers a little something extra. Just, please, bring me the mutated pupa.
Hey, one of my favorite cereals starts out just like this. Oh. It's not got the best ending, though.
Hey, damage-prone daredevil. You're getting battered and bruised, brutally battling Auntie's enemies. So we're honoring your sacrifice by winning the war on high prices. Welcome to Bonnie's Barely Above Board Battlefield Bazaar, brought to you by Auntie's Choice. We know consumers are highly discerning in how they spend their bits in an active war zone, and I really appreciate you dodging literal bullets to bring me your business. And to show my gratitude, I'm offering you and only you a one-of-a-kind, once-in-a-lifetime, exclusively discounted rate of 4/5 of Auntie's standard profiteering rate. Aw, it's the old publicly storm away in a moral huff before slinking back unseen shtick. Fair enough, I suppose. We're all a slave to appearances.
Hello there, consumer. If you haven't yet, you should be sure to avail yourself of our retail opportunities downstairs. You here for the view? Of course. I've seen about every meter of this rock by one means or another. So if you're looking to bargain, I'm sure I've got info for you. Say 250 bits per location? It landed over by some particularly aggressive creepy crawlies. I'll mark it for you. Uh-huh.
Makes me pretend I have the sun in my eyes.
Well, what have we here? You couldn't look less Auntie's choice if you tried. So what are you doing in our fort? Durbin sent you? Why? You certainly ain't a certified pre-inhumation inquisitor. Oh, lovely. And just what is it you think you can do for me? You ain't even carrying a masticating tissue scrutinator. You just gonna guess what manner of poison killed folk? So far as I can tell, it's a simple case of killing to get ahead. Chief Cuddy and Trooper Bardot were sharing a table for supper. There was nothing wrong with the food. The whole fort ate the same thing. And 10 minutes later, Cuddy was bloated, discolored, and looking all to law like he'd been poisoned. There are no other suspects, just Bardot. She swears she's innocent, but they always say that. And I can't possibly figure how that could be. Yes. I walked over, saw Cuddy's body, saw Bardot screaming her fool head off, and I put her in cuffs. Case closed. Now, I'm waiting for a specialist to affirm my theory, so I can get on with my other 1,000 duties need doing. You wouldn't believe what this mess is taking out of my schedule. You're welcome to try, but I can't figure what good you'll do. I guess it's possible you could make Bardot confess, but I'm not going to be holding my breath. Honestly, anything that keeps you busy and out of my hair is fine by me.
help me, please! I didn't do what they say I done! Hey, stranger. Please, you gotta help me. They're gonna railroad me into a guilty verdict. Then I'll be declogging sewer sediment tanks until I'm dead enough to mulch. Durbin! Oh, that's great! He's bound to see the truth of this and let me go. Abner's trying to pin this on me, and it ain't right. I got a bunch to say. First, I say I'm no murderer. Second, I say there was no reason to do it. Third, I'd say that I actually like Chief Cuddy. I mean him no harm. He'd get you extra shifts if you asked, and only ding your pay if you really screwed up. And sometimes, if you really had to go, he'd even cover your bog breaks, pro bono. I'd never have hurt the chief, even if you offered to pay me to do it. I don't think nobody killed Cuddy. I was there. That's why they think I did it. And he was fine. Well, he was fine up until he wasn't, and then he just swole up and died. But the way he swole up, it's something Cuddy always said might happen. Only it don't make no sense that it happened now. We were eating chow at our post. Cuddy asked me to try his because it tasted funny, but I tried it and it was fine, just like mine. Then he just swole up, turned blue, and died. I made a ruckus, which called everyone in, and all they saw was him dead and me fine. So Security Officer Abner charged me with murder and threw me in here. I've got no idea. We ate the same thing. The exact same thing. Came from the same pot, even. It was sisty stew, fresh from the can, served just the way Auntie would do it. But it was exactly what Cuddy said would happen if he ate crabble. He was deathly allergic to crabble. But there ain't no crabble in sisty stew. Yup. Cuddy had told everybody about his allergy, repeatedly, over and over, constantly. Nobody would have served him crabble knowing that. But that's still gotta be how he died. So, I need you to talk to Security Officer Abner, remind him of the allergy, and let him toss all my gear. He won't find crabble anywhere. No, that was days ago, and they tossed out the rest of the stew. So I don't even know if the docs will still be able to tell it was allergies that did in Cuddy. He will. He has to. It's the truth. I didn't murder nobody. Please, make him understand.
You're back? Why? Of course that's what she's gonna say. Do you think everyone nabbed for a crime just confesses? What? How could that be? I made the stew myself and every one of us ate it. What? That's ridiculous. It was nothing but canned sisty stew. Stew that I Oh. Oh no. Oh, did you say crabble? Well, he told everyone that. But that ain't exactly the same as it actually being true. See, Cuddy was what you'd call a complainer. He complained about the food. He complained about the weather. He complained about his bunk. He complained about everything. He's also somebody's nephew. Some junior executive. And if you gave him reason enough to complain about you, he'd take it up with his uncle, and it'd come back down in your head. Law, no. Or at least, not on purpose. Half his gripes were really nothing but reasons to grouse. But if you push back too hard, he'd run to his uncle. So most of us just ignored him, assuming he was constantly full of it, and didn't think twice about doing things like stretching the stew with canned crabble stock. What? No, it was an accident. Nobody would have... At least nobody'd mean to. Law, his uncle is gonna see me transferred to mid-operation engine cleaning on the claim. Unless... Hey, how'd you like to make some bits? Some real bits? And keep a tragic accident that'll lead to the end of a promising career. Total secret. So we got this thing. An acidic dematerializer that we use to melt mantisaur dung, so it don't call in the local wildlife. But it'll actually work on anything. That means if someone used it to melt Cuddy, there would be no body, which would mean no autopsy, which would mean no evidence, which would end the investigation. I'd do it myself, but my boss said she's on her way for a surprise inspection, so I can't leave. But if you go find one and melt the body, I'll make it worth your while. Yes, that's exactly it. Now just head over to Cuddy's corpse and make it disappear. Well, really, make it turn into a small puddle. But that's neither here nor there. Thank Law. You'll find Cuddy inside the tower, but you'll have to sneak your way past the guards. It simply wouldn't do for me to announce your intentions to the base. Then come back and tell me when I've got no more evidence to hold Bardot and can draw this whole thing to a close.
What's happening? Are you making any progress? Thank you, but please hurry. I've got severe claustrophobia, and being locked in this tiny cage makes me feel like I've got a Manosaur Queen sitting on my chest.
You, the get-and go-getter. I'm offering deals so good, they're worth crawling under the bullets and over the barbed wire it took to get here. I'm offering deals so good, they're worth crawling up the woman's neck over the bar.
You ain't got clearance to come this way. One step more and you die. Get you.
Let me know when you needed a stretch.
Got it all.
I've been told Chief Cuddy's corpse has gone missing. Which is a surprise to both of us, I'm sure. Thank you for your help. You've saved 2 careers today and allowed us to put this whole miserable affair behind us. Of course. Debts left unpaid decays our character and all of anti-society. And this torrid affair has come close enough to doing both already. Regardless, it's nothing but ink in the ledger now. And speaking of ledgers, Bardot is free. And here's the balance for yours. Which means we're done.
You did it! You actually did it! I can't believe you could get it done. Thank you, thank you, thank you! I'm so glad to be out of that damn cage. I wish I had bits for you, but I'm still in debt from this uniform, and meals, and the incarceration fee they charged me for being locked up. But I'm telling everyone what you did.
Val says you turned her down for a massage.
Turns out Val's massage protocol doesn't have a setting between a light touch and a 50-kilometer-per-hour punch. Not exactly therapeutic. Felt a little bad telling that to her face, though.
Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of one of those massages, too. Honestly, you made the right choice.
Yes?
Got a distraction for you. I'm the one you need to worry about.
Raph's back in big.
when you need a distraction. That's who I couldn't hit the broadside of a freighter. Over here, free hole in the head. ready to waste them. On your command. Combat! Hey! Got a distraction for you!
Grab break if you need a house call.
Just say when. Hostiles inbound, Commander.
Looks like a fight.
Coming from everywhere.
Back in business.
Not getting up without help, Commander.
Hello again. Have you brought me the pupa? Oh, thank law. Here's the reward I promised. I am downright giddy to get it into my lab so I can start my experiments.
Let's hope this doesn't come back to bite us. Or grow up to bite us, rather.
Mantisaurs! Eyes up, troops! A mess of the bastards are coming from the east!
Did they follow those folks back from that nest?
Following my...
Instincts.
Everyone, I'm going to investigate that noise.
Ah! Damn fools are trying to fight me again.
And I'll take care of him, Commander.
Get back! I'll make him disappear!
Guns cocked to...
Weapons at the ready. Moving to investigate. Got nowhere left to hide. I'll find you. When I do... Got him dead to rights.
Ready to take the heat off you, Commander. Just say when.
Look alive, Commander.
I'm gonna be picking Manosaur gristle out of my rotators for a week. Well, let's see who's left in charge. And yell at them.
Why are you here wasting my highly valuable time?
I put in for that transfer, and under the circumstances, I think they'll give it to me. Thank you again for your help.
Hope you're settling into the cognito all right. You got everything you need?
Almost. Ever thought about bringing an Auntie's Choice vending machine on board? I ain't all that agreeable if I'm without my snacks.
I've got to introduce you to this novel appliance, name of a refrigerator. You can store and draw from it without ever paying a bit.
Everyone knows a morsel tastes that much sweeter if you gotta pay a premium for it.
You lost, stranger? I don't see a lot of new faces in these parts. What are you? Order? Protectorate? Auntie? Really? An Earth Directorate agent? I have no idea what that is, but okay. Me, I'm a Sprat Trapper. Cute little things, but their tallow and hides fetch a high price. Used to be Protectorate, then worked for the Order, then Auntie. Whoever's calling the shots on a given day. Now, I'm just waiting for the dust to settle so I can find out who I work for tomorrow. Gregory? Well, I'm glad to hear he's still kicking. Loyal customer. Very particular about his sprats. These being hard times, I've had to raise my prices. Gal's gotta eat, and I don't care for sprat meat. No charge. I don't think you understand. These sprats are my livelihood. And that concludes the negotiations. Just take them. I'd prefer to not die on this blasted rock.
How do you eat Purpleberry Crunch? Real warriors eat it right from the box.
Please tell me there's a damn good reason you're back. Well, I suppose it can't reflect badly on me to simply report the facts. And you have already made me look better in the eyes of the executives. All right, I'll send it. And if you'll leave me, I've got lots left to attend to. But do come back if you can be of any further use to me.
mercenary. Better get my bits into the betting.
Guns cocked and loaded. Just give the signal.
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish. The invader.
Any luck with the Sprat hunt? Decent quality, all things considered. Frankie's work is second to none. You can tell the good doctor I'll be around shortly, armed with needle and thread, calipers, and my finest jar of glass eyes. No, thank you. It's always a pleasure to bring passion to one's work, even when that passion is a tad morbid. Be seeing you, Agent.
Welcome. Have you come to bask in the Order's knowledge?
From a medical standpoint, the taxidermist doctor was an unconventional choice. But I can't deny the results. Take this. On behalf of the Order and the displaced, I thank you. Now, will there be anything else? The savior of medicine returns. How can I be of service? I can tend to your injuries, provided you have the bits to compensate me for my time and skill. We're short on everything, I'm afraid. including generosity. Many thanks. Now, hold still. You might experience some momentary discomfort. Right as rain. Now, will there be anything else?
Operating on civilians is not so different from cutting into a primal.
No updates on my side of things. Anything I can do to assist you? Oh, of course. What would you like to discuss? Merely a precaution against calamity. Based off certain predictions, I agree with Seer Wiley that it is best to avoid those areas for now. Yes, the plan can seem quite mysterious at times, but that is why we have seers like Wiley to help us decipher its many patterns and figures. Apart from providing them sustenance, shelter, and scientific ministry, you mean? Need I remind you, Arcadia is at war. This is what war looks like, I'm afraid. The Order is operating within a very reasonable framework to provide as much aid as it can. Alexandra Monastery is a place of sacred study, advancing our understanding of the plan. We cannot jeopardize that vital work all for the comfort of a few. I haven't the wish to debate you on this any further. Please, let us move on to less controversial topics. Yes, what have you discovered? Oh, you've lessened the load on my mind considerably, and you have the Order's gratitude. Any other updates?
Since the schism, the Protectorate have... Every scientician yearns to visit the archive on Callisto. One day, it will process all.
Shame what happened there. I seen the whole thing. Watch yourself if you intend to nose around that collapsed ramshackle. I swear, refugee settlements aren't what they used to be. Yes, technically a hut is meant to be only one story. Because when you stack them, they tend to fall over. Happens a lot. People here need more room to breathe. Can't build in the walkways, can't set up in the exclusion zone. So they build up. Best they can, at least. Don't have proper building material or nothing. They just make do. After a while, the stacked up little huts they jury-rigged come tumbling down. Oh, you put that together, did you? Here, I thought I was being subtle. Yeah, people keep at it. What else choice they have? Order won't listen. Maybe if we interspersed our requests with numbers, they'd pay attention. Seems like all they care about sometimes. They're doing something, which is better than nothing, but not by much.
Jewish troops have been espied bivouacked in trenches crisscrossing the highlands. Although a ceasefire exists, a healthy degree of circumspection remains advised. Newly introduced invasive species deposited here by Auntie's choice have been determined to be territorial, toothsome, and aggressive. Travelers are instructed to closely monitor their surroundings at all times.
Sorry. Got some kind of tickle in my chest. Sorry. Got a bad feel about this line, huh? Don't like being so exposed. Hell of a thing coming all this way just to catch a bullet on the camp's doorstep.
You worry too much, man. Even the Protectorate isn't much in the business of
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was? Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish. Between the invaders, the order defecting, there's no putting this sprat back into the camp.
Algorithmic dissonance? How could
You ever cough so hard your ankles hurt? I'll try not to sneeze on you, but no promises.
Look, I'm not with Auntie anymore. All have reasons to believe.
Really? What was yours?
Honestly, I don't think it matters anymore. All that matters is we're alive.
My noggin sure is sore. Oh, my.
Up to no good?
Good.
Where do we go now? Another refugee camp? Another colony?
I predict, with an 8.23 margin of error, that our situation will improve in time.
Oh,
Stopping with the predictions.
a visitor. Hello. You weren't mentioned in my latest personalized order projection. I mean, prediction. Granted, I mostly skim the parts what don't cover probabilistic dangers, so perhaps you were alluded to in some, roundabout fashion. Suppose that means you're not a threat. So that's good, right? Yeah, I reckon that's good. I'll say, I try not to make any big plans until I consult my latest POP. First time I got a POP, it was on a lark. It said, Rolo Nast, our seer has predicted you must wear a helmet today. I borrowed one, as a laugh. Everybody ribbed me about it. Just after lunch, wind picked up on the cliff above and dropped a mock apple 152 meters straight down onto my head. Fortunately, I still had that brain case on. I mean, if you want an exact estimate or percentage, talk to them. As for me, I just got that, what do you call it? Anecdotal feedback. Few times, I couldn't make heads or tail of half of it. Like, avoid anything representing whole numbers? I didn't know what to do about that. So I just stayed put. End of the day, I'm still here, and my co-occupant Ike isn't. So, I guess them prognostications work well enough. You did catch the part I said they saved my life, right? I think alive is a notable improvement on dead. That's something you can take to the bank, you know? Figuratively speaking. I don't know why the other displaced have been so slow to take to them. But I'm not complaining too loud. Waited for my latest POPs long enough already.
Try not to deviate from the norm.
I suppose I can give you the time of day. Vexing. We're at the mercy of the Order, and the Order is at the mercy of their predictions. Not to insult our gracious hosts, but these people don't wipe themselves unless an equation tells them to.
What happened to this place? Law. Matriarch's mercy is no safer than the trenches.
Scienticians around the settlement inform me you've made some inquiries. Good, good. Continue poking around further, though. You must earn both sides' trust, you know. Have you spoken to all representatives of the Order? All of the displaced? The Doctor? The questionable types from Sub Rosa? Investigated the containers? If not, do. Well then, if you need me in the meantime, I'll be here, up to my ocular organs and requests.
Hello again, stranger. How can I be of service?
Friends, neighbors, while you shelter in Matriarch's mercy, heed the teachings of the Order.
My soup is nutritionally calculated to sustain all bodily functions, but it could use a little salt.
Well, don't you look run of the median.
Thus, if we compare the rates of dust accumulation inside the segment to outside...
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was? Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it was?
I wish.
Keep your
behavior
within
accepting
parameters.
There's no putting this sprat back into the can.
Oyster is looking pretty good right about now.
A wasteland devoid of life? No, Arcadia is doomed. Plain and simple.
Wait. Don't tell me you're one of those drones from Inti's Trace.
Easy, friend. All in this together.
You just keep your distance.
You have a very non-scholarly look about you.
Sub Rosa thanks you for your patronage. What fine contraband might I supply you with this day? Savvier than you look. Might be that I've got an agent over by the Guardian Estates that I haven't heard from in a spell. If you perhaps find yourself over that way, and perhaps make sure that the aforementioned agent hasn't been torn limb from limb, Sub Rosa would be most grateful.